Fire lookouts maintain daily logbooks, weather observations, fire sightings, wildlife activity. Every entry dated, signed, filed. Standard documentation for over a century. Lookouts write what they observe, on the day they observe it. Except at some fire towers, entries appear before the observations occur. Pages dated days ahead. Sometimes weeks, describing fires that haven't started, weather that hasn't arrived, events witnessed by lookouts who haven't written them yet. Fire lookouts are instructed not to read these entries. Remove the pages. File them. Don't look at what's written. Because when the future date arrives, lookouts write exactly what the removed pages said, word for word. And the fires described burn exactly where the entries predicted. On the exact day, at the exact time. This is about fire lookout logbooks that write themselves, before the lookouts write them. On August 3, 2000, fire lookout Diana Chen was conducting morning observations at Ridge Tower, a remote fire lookout station in the Northern District. Ridge Tower sat at 800 feet elevation, staffed seasonally from June through September. Chen was 3 weeks into her second season as a lookout. Fire lookout protocol required daily logbook entries, weather conditions at 2800, 1200, 1600, and 2000 hours, fire sightings with coordinates and descriptions, wildlife observations, equipment status, visitor counts if any, all entries handwritten in standard logbooks, dated and signed. At 0830 hours, Chen was reviewing the logbook to record morning weather when she noticed an entry on a page she hadn't written. The entry was dated August 6, 2000, 3 days in the future. Current date was August 3rd. The entry read, 1347 hours. Smoke sighting. Bearing 247 degrees, range approximately 8 miles. Light gray smoke, growing. Coordinates, 47.3421N, 121.8856W. Radio dispatch 1349 hours. Ground crew dispatched 1355 hours. Fire confirmed 1428 hours. Approximately 2 acres, spreading northeast. Visibility good. Winds 8 to 12 miles per hour from southwest. The entry was in Chen's handwriting, her signature at the bottom, dated August 6th, 3 days ahead. Chen radioed her supervisor at the district office. She described the future dated entry, read the contents. Asked if someone had accessed her logbook. Her supervisor, a veteran fire management officer, listened to Chen's report. There was a long pause on the radio. Then, the supervisor said, "Continue normal logging procedures. File a note about the entry. We'll discuss it at your next supply run." Chen asked if she should remove the page. Her supervisor said no. Leave it. Just continue normal entries. Chen filed a brief incident note, continued her regular observations. The August 6th entry remained in the logbook, 3 pages ahead of her current entries. On August 4th and 5th, Chen wrote standard daily observations. Weather. No fires. Routine wildlife sightings. She didn't mention the August 6th entry in her reports. August 6th arrived. Clear morning. Chen conducted 0800 weather observations, wrote her entry. At 1347 hours, the exact time noted in the future dated entry, Chen spotted smoke at bearing 247 degrees. She used her Osborne Firefinder to calculate coordinates, 47.3421N, 121.8856W. Exact coordinates from the August 6th entry, written 3 days earlier. Chen radioed dispatch at 1349 hours. Described the smoke. Light gray, growing, approximately 8 miles out. Dispatch logged her call. Dispatched ground crew at 1355 hours. Ground crew confirmed fire at 1428 hours. Approximately 2 acres, spreading northeast. Winds 8 to 12 miles per hour from southwest. Visibility good. Chen wrote her fire report in the logbook. When she finished, she looked at the August 6th entry written 3 days earlier. Her current report matched the future entry exactly. Same words, same details, same times, same coordinates. She had written what she'd already written, 3 days before she observed it. Chen radioed her supervisor, reported the match. Her supervisor told her to continue normal operations. They'd discuss it at the end of the season. Chen never received an explanation. The August 6th entry remained in her logbook. Her handwriting, her words, written on August 3rd, describing observations she made on August 6th. The fire burned 47 acres before containment. Every detail matched the future entry. Chen completed her season. Returned the following year. Never mentioned the August 6th entry again. But she checked her logbook every morning, looking for entries she hadn't written yet. In June 2008, fire lookout Kenji Yamamoto began his 4th season at Summit Tower, a lookout station at 7,200 feet in the Eastern District. Yamamoto was an experienced lookout. Meticulous records, high accuracy on fire reports, respected by ground crews. On June 12, Yamamoto opened his logbook to record morning observations. He found 6 pages of entries he hadn't written, all in his handwriting. All dated between June 18th and July 9th, 3 weeks of future entries. The entries described fires, weather patterns, and wildlife sightings. Specific dates and times, coordinates, detailed observations, all signed with Yamamoto's signature. Yamamoto read every entry. June 23rd entry described a lightning strike fire at specific coordinates. July 1st entry noted unusual bear activity near the tower. July 6th entry documented a weather system bringing high winds and low humidity, critical fire conditions. Yamamoto didn't report the entries to his supervisor. Instead, he used the information. On June 22nd, the day before the June 23rd fire entry, Yamamoto pre-positioned his fire-spotting equipment toward the coordinates listed in the future entry. At 14:20 hours on June 23rd, the exact time in the entry, smoke appeared at those coordinates. Yamamoto called it in immediately. Ground crew response was faster than usual because Yamamoto had precise coordinates ready. On July 1st, Yamamoto logged the bear activity described in his future entry. Same location, same time, same behavior. On July 6th, the weather system arrived exactly as his future entry described. High winds, low humidity, elevated fire risk. Yamamoto had already notified dispatch based on the future entry. Resources were pre-positioned. By mid-July, Yamamoto's supervisor noticed his unusually accurate predictions. Fire coordinates exact before smoke visible. Weather forecasts more precise than official meteorology. Wildlife activity reported before observations. On July 18th, Yamamoto's supervisor arrived at Summit Tower, unannounced for a logbook inspection. Standard procedure, but earlier than usual. The supervisor reviewed Yamamoto's entries, asked how Yamamoto predicted the June 23rd fire location so precisely, how he knew about the July 6th weather system days in advance. Yamamoto explained about the future dated entries, showed the supervisor the pages dated ahead, explained he'd been using the information to improve response times. The supervisor read the future entries, verified they matched Yamamoto's subsequent reports exactly, confirmed the handwriting was Yamamoto's. The supervisor radioed district headquarters. Yamamoto was placed on immediate administrative leave. He was instructed to pack his personal belongings and return to the district office that day. Yamamoto was reassigned to ground crew duties effective immediately. Fire suppression, trail maintenance, no lookout responsibilities. Yamamoto asked why. His supervisor said, "You read the entries. Protocol is you don't read them." Yamamoto said there was no protocol about future entries. He'd never been briefed. His supervisor said, "There is now." Yamamoto never returned to lookout duty. He completed the 2008 season on ground crew, didn't return for the 2009 season. His personnel file noted, reassigned from lookout duties per operational protocols. The future dated entries Yamamoto found were removed from his logbook. Filed separately, marked Future Entry Incident Summit Tower, June 2008. Every prediction in those entries occurred exactly as written. Fires, weather, wildlife, all accurate. But Yamamoto had read them, and lookouts who read future entries don't stay lookouts. By 2015, fire lookout logbook procedures had changed. All lookouts received new logbooks at the start of the season. The logbooks were described as date-locked systems. Each page in the new logbooks had a pre-printed date. Lookouts could only write on the page matching the current date. Future dated pages were sealed with a perforated edge and a notice. Remove if entry appears before date. Do not read. File as incident. Fire lookout Sarah Kim received her date-locked logbook when she began her first season at Valley Tower in June 2015. During her orientation, her supervisor specifically addressed the logbook system. If you find an entry on a future dated page, the supervisor said, tear out the page along the perforated edge. Don't read what's written. Place it in the incident envelope. We'll collect it at your next supply run. This is standard protocol. Kim asked what the future entries were about. Her supervisor said, they're logbook anomalies. Don't read them, just remove and file. Kim didn't ask further questions. On July 8, 2015, Kim opened her logbook to record midday observations. She noticed writing on the July 12th page. 4 days ahead. The page had an entry in handwriting that looked like hers. Following protocol, Kim tore out the page along the perforated edge without reading the entry. She placed it in the incident envelope. Sealed it. Logged the incident. Future entry found. July 12th page removed per protocol. At her July 10th supply run, Kim handed the sealed envelope to her supervisor. Her supervisor filed it without opening it. Thanked Kim for following protocol. On July 12th, Kim conducted her normal observations. At 15:20 hours, she spotted smoke at bearing 312 degrees. She calculated coordinates, radioed dispatch, wrote her fire report in the logbook. That evening, Kim's supervisor radioed her, asked her to describe her July 12th fire report in detail. Kim read her entry over the radio. Time, bearing, coordinates, description, response. Her supervisor thanked her, said nothing else. 3 days later, during Kim's next supply run, her supervisor showed her the sealed envelope from July 8th. The supervisor opened it. Inside was the July 12th page Kim had removed without reading. The entry described Kim's July 12th fire sighting. Same time, 15:20 hours. Same bearing, 312 degrees. Same coordinates, same description, same response details. Kim had written it on July 8th, 4 days before she made the observations. Then removed the page without reading it. Then wrote the exact same entry on July 12th when the fire occurred. Word for word. Kim stared at the two entries, the remove page and her July 12th entry, identical. Her supervisor said, "This is why we don't read them. You did the right thing." Kim asked how it was possible. Her supervisor said, "We don't know, but it happens. And if you read the entries, you get reassigned. So we don't read them." Kim completed her 2015 season, found 2 more future entries, removed both without reading, filed per protocol. When the dates arrived, Kim's observations matched the removed entries exactly. At the end of the season, Kim requested reassignment to ground duties. Her supervisor approved the transfer. Kim never returned to lookout work. In her exit interview, Kim said, "I don't want to write things before I observe them. It's not right." Her supervisor noted in her file, "Voluntary transfer from lookout duties. Completed season per protocol. No violations." Kim's removed pages were filed with dozens of others. Future entries from fire lookouts across the district, all removed without reading. all matching subsequent observations exactly. The date-locked logbook system remained in effect. Current Fire Lookout Logbook Protocol, revised 2015. Fire lookouts will use date-locked logbook systems. Each page is pre-printed with a specific date and can only be used for observations on that date. If entries dated in the future appear in the logbook, the lookout will remove the page along the perforated edge without reading the contents. The removed page will be placed in a sealed incident envelope and filed as a future entry incident. Future entry pages will be collected during supply runs and forwarded to District Fire Management for archival. Pages will not be opened or read by field personnel. Lookouts will not use information from future entries for operational planning, equipment pre-positioning, or fire prediction. Observation of future entries does not constitute actionable intelligence. Personnel who read future entries will be reassigned to ground duties. Lookout reassignment is immediate and permanent. Lookouts are reminded that logbook entries describe observations made on the date written. Future dated entries are administrative anomalies and should be treated as documentation errors. Questions about future entries should be directed to District Fire Management. Field discussion of future entry incidents is discouraged. Fire lookouts use date-locked logbooks now. Can't write on future dated pages. Pages sealed until the date arrives. But future entries still appear. Pages dated days ahead, sometimes weeks. Lookouts tear them out without reading. Seal them in envelopes. Hand them off at supply runs. When the future dates arrive, lookouts write their observations. Fires spotted, weather recorded, wildlife noted. They write what they saw. And what they write matches the removed pages exactly. Same words, same times, same coordinates. Fire Management opens the sealed envelopes later, compares entries. Always identical. Fires occur where future entries predicted. Weather matches. Sightings confirmed. Lookouts write what they already wrote. On pages they remove days earlier. Without reading them, some lookouts request transfers after their first future entry. Can't handle writing observations they've already written. Sarah Kim transferred. Kenji Yamamoto was reassigned. Diana Chen stayed, but checked her logbook every morning. Because tomorrow's logbook knows what tomorrow brings. Fires that haven't started. Weather that hasn't arrived. Observations lookouts haven't made. The entries are always accurate. The handwriting is always the lookout's. The observations always match. And fire lookouts don't read them, remove the pages, seal them, file them, because reading tomorrow means you can't pretend it hasn't been written. Even though you're the one who's going to write it,